Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick video with my initial impressions of the Nintendo 3DS, which I got yesterday. I'm not going to do an unboxing video or anything because I think those are generally pretty stupid. I mean, how much education or enlightenment do you get out of watching someone open up a box? That's kind of lazy. The people who do unboxing videos oftentimes don't use the product or have not used the product yet and don't really have anything, useful to say about it. So that's just kind of senseless in my opinion. But anyway, my initial impressions of the Nintendo 3DS are that it's a pretty revolutionary device in that Nintendo was the first, people to come out with a handheld gaming device that does not require, that's 3D, that does not require any 3D glasses. So that, aspect is very cool. But you keep in mind, it is a first generation device, so there are some negatives with it. When playing it yesterday, here are a lot of the things that I noticed about it. The first thing is that when you have it on in 3D mode, if you go off axis from the screen, it looks blurry. So the angle of view to have the successful 3D is not very large. So if you're playing like a racing game, for instance, and you tend to move the device around, it'll look blurry if you go off angle. So that's one negative. Other big negative is battery life. The battery life really does only last from about 3 to 5 hours or so. For serious gamers, that's not really very high, very long battery life. It may not last you throughout your day's worth of gaming if you're gonna say, play in the morning, take it with you somewhere, play it on your lunch break, and stuff like that. Then go to a cafe and play it or something like that. The battery probably won't last you all day. Nintendo does include a cradle charger with it, and what you're really supposed to do is every time you're not playing it, you're supposed to return it to the charger. So I think that I think that's going to improve in the future in later versions as well as the 3D. But the next negative is that there is a lack of good games out for the initial release, in my opinion. I've got Pilot Wings and the Street Fighter game so far, but there aren't any like Mario games or anything like that out for it as of yet. So it remains to be seen. I'm sure they will be released in the near future. So there's a lack of games for it as well currently right now. I mean, there are a lot of games out for it, but I'm saying lack of really good titles, like super good ones. The next thing is the size of it. If you're used to like the Nintendo DSi XL, the Nintendo 3DS is smaller. It's more like a DSi size. So the screens do seem a little bit small if you're used to a slightly bigger system. So that's something to be aware of. Another negative is the price. I think that it could be $50 cheaper. The initial release price of $249 does seem a bit high to me. So that's something to consider as well. I think the price will come down in the coming months, or maybe in a year or so. So the price does seem a little bit high. As I mentioned, all these things are things that I think will improve with future versions of the Nintendo 3DS. I think the angle of view issue is going to get better over time. The battery life will get better over time, and they're going to make more enhancements and tweaks over time as well. Another negative also I forgot to mention with the 3D is when you're playing it for a long period of time, you can get some eye fatigue and a headache. The way that the 3D is, it's sort of exercising your eye muscles that you don't normally use, and you can get a headache. So if you play the 3D for too long, you're going to either want to stop, or there's a little switch that you can turn the 3D down. So, just be aware of that. They do make it easy to turn the 3D off or down. So, also I noticed that turning the brightness down also kind of helps too. But it does take a little bit of getting used to, and if you're in 3D mode a lot, it can lead to some eye strain and also give you a headache too. So that's just something to be aware of. Anyway, those are just my initial impressions on the Nintendo 3DS. If you have any, comments, please feel free to leave them and share your comments with others. Did you get a 3DS yourself? How do you like it? What are some of the best games? Go ahead and post a video response below or a comment response. Thanks.